here, focused on my own way, with never looking back to those who lived in fear. There was nothing I could do, there was nothing you said that could make me realize how much lucky I was. Just out of reach of the fire, was not aware of this nightmare. But when I stopped to see through sight, begging for help, begging for hope, just need to open my eyes now to try to change them to sunshine, to be someone among others. I've got to try. If I bleed tonight, if I am sad tonight, I don't have the time to fight. If I wait tonight, I'm so tired tonight, I'm falling asleep when I'm home, when I'm alone. No way to go, no one that can see through that shine. No lie, I can see my life is crap, I have to see them too. I just live into my world, far from the pain, the fear. Was out of reach of the fire, was not aware of the start of hell. But when I stop to see through sight, begging for help, begging for hope, just need to open my eyes now to try to change them to sunshine, to be someone among others. I've got to try. If I bleed tonight, if I am sad tonight, I don't have the time to fight. If I wait tonight, I'm so tired tonight, I'm falling asleep when I'm home. I was so alone, I was so blind, I was so dumb and out of time. I was so wrong, I was so blind, I was so If I bleed tonight, if I am sad tonight, I don't have the time to fight. If I wait tonight, I'm so tired tonight, I'm falling asleep when I'm home, when I'm focused on my own way, with never looking back to those who lived in fear. There was nothing I could do, there was nothing you said that could make me realize how much lucky I was. Just out of reach of the fire, was not aware of this nightmare. But when I stopped to see those eyes begging for help, begging for hope, just need to open my eyes now to try to change them to sunshine, to be someone among others. I've got to try. If I bleed tonight, if I am sad tonight, I don't have a job to find. If I wait tonight, I'm so tired tonight, I fall asleep when I'm home. When there's no place to go, no one that can see who left inside. No lie. I can see my life is crap, I have to see them too. I just live into my world, far from the pain, the feel. Just out of reach of the fire, was not aware of the start of hell. But when I stop to see those eyes begging for help, begging for hope, just need to open my eyes now to try to change them to sunshine, to be someone among others. I've got to try. If I bleed tonight, if I am sad tonight, I don't have a job to find. If I wait tonight, if I'm so tired tonight, I fall asleep when I'm home. I was so wrong, I was so blind, I was so dumb and out of time. I was so wrong, I was so blind, I was so
Welcome, race fans. We're live here tonight, Michigan International Speedway here, and it's been a long time. Sim500 Monday Night Money Winter Series. And we're bringing this thing here live tonight because one more race and we crown a champ. After tonight, 4 drivers will go to Homestead and vie for the title. Get set, get ready. Qualifying's underway, and Pedro Mega's on top right now. So tune in, get everything going, get your refreshments, and stay tuned for the awesome race here tonight live, Michigan Sim500. It's been a long here, but we've got it set. We're in Michigan. We're about to do this thing here tonight live here for the Sim500. These guys are already pumped up and ready. As you got to look, we're in qualifying. But right now, it's going to be interesting. Now, let's look at our points here tonight. As right here, your drivers that are trying to, 4 of those drivers right now will become the guys who actually go on to Homestead next week and try to take the title here tonight. So with that said, we're getting set here to go green flag racing, folks. And it's going to be a thriller tonight as Pedro Mega puts it on. Qualifying, yep, it's almost concluded. And we're about to set to go green flag racing here live tonight for the Sim500 Monday Night Money Winter Series in the trucks. 2 races to go. Stay tuned. We're in Michigan. All right, get set, get ready here because we're about to go green flag racing. And what we're going to see here, huge track in Michigan. But we're underway, and that's right, Michigan style here tonight. As let's grid these guys up here and get them set to going. As they put it on pole, Pedro Mega. That's right, he got the Mega machine, and he's looking to actually try to see if he can't be one of the 4s. Right there, Bobby Terrell sitting in 2nd. You got Justin Fuller starting 3rd. Malik Ray, he's right on there, the 4th place spot. Starting 5th, Tim Matthews. 6th, Jose Gonzalez. 7th place, Byron Daly. 8th place, Chad Coleman. You got the 9th place man, Joe Hudson. Scott Simley right there and rounds in the top 10. As I look through the rest of this field here, got a lot of chase drivers out here that are hoping, but only 4 spots to get yourself there to the final showing, so to speak, here. And that'll be at Homestead next week as these guys, man, are getting ready, geared up, getting their belts fastened in, getting these cars, man, and trucks, actually, excuse me, powered up, about ready to set to go green flag racing around this huge super speedway style track here of Michigan International Speedway, the Sim500 Monday Night Money Winter Series in the trucks. Folks, I hope you're getting ready. And I want to appreciate everybody coming out here tonight as it's going to be a good one. Very good one here. As we still look through the rest of that field, as they are lined up, 2 by 2 stacked up, and definitely getting set here to do some racing tonight around this place. Well, if you missed it last night, you get to see a lot of these stars here from the Sim500. These boys was doing their Joe Gibbs racing last night. Check them out. So right now, though, let's look. Pedro Mega. He's got that Mega machine rumbling out there, and he's going to hope he can definitely put it here as pace car's about to set sail and let these guys go to work here at Michigan. I hope everybody, man, is tuned in, ready, geared up for this exciting action. As much as I am here, I'm Joe White up in the booth here tonight. I'll be accompanied by Harrison. He'll be up here with me here shortly, so stay tuned for that. All right, here we go. We're about to go around this place tonight here, Michigan International Speedway. One race away. What's going on, Robert? How you doing out there? All right, good deal. SRA, Sim Racing Authority, man. Like them guys over there too, boy. Definitely some good guys, man. Like these guys here, Sim500. It's about to get set here. Watch some great, exciting racing action here. As again, it's old Pedro up there. Blinking just a little bit. Little Bobby Terrell right fast. Here we go. We got going green flag. Pace cars in. We're about to get set here as we're going to fly. Green flag in the air. They're storming right down into turn number 1. Listen to the thunder, the sound of those trucks as they head off into turn 1. As right now, out front, you're going to see there's Bobby Terrell right there, but he's got a good battle. Well, he's falling back just a little bit there. Pedro Mega's got a good battle, though. Justin Fuller, he's actually there, man, right there, taking it to the outside. Pedro's blinking just a little bit. He'll get that under control, not too bad. Nice. And I think, I'll tell you what, and I'm accompanied now. Harrison, how you doing?
All right, glad to be here, at least early enough to catch the green flag.
Hey, absolutely, man. Definitely early enough to catch this green flag. And it just started, and we got an awesome running race right now as these boys, man, are putting it to the wind here already. Good battle up front. That's the thing about Michigan. Michigan can bring about it multiple grooves, multiple lines here, things that we're going to see throughout this whole entire race.
Yeah, it's certainly an interesting track, a real racing track. Pedro Mega with connection problems as he's dropping off to the inside to let a few of these guys go by. So as we see Justin Fuller go into the lead, one thing on my mind is this is the first race under a new Iracing build. A lot of these drivers are not 100% sure what to expect with their trucks tonight. So Fuller in the lead, though, that's kind of a thing we've seen all season long.
Well, I tell you what, you're right. The new build here, I've seen a couple races since then, and I will tell you, it's been a very good one there as Justin Fuller out front with Tim Matthews right there on his back. But you're right there, Harrison. They're actually running a new build because we had the week 13 last week here for iRacing and these guys out here. So it's all new track, all new tire model, everything for them. We're already seeing some awesome, exciting racing going on up front.
Yeah, Tim Matthews in that 54 truck, he's been looking for a good run because he's had some speed, but haven't seen him competing for the wins quite as much as I expected him to this season. But that 54, Tim Matthews, coming right up on the back bumper of Justin Fuller.
Yeah, he's came to life, man, here at the closing end of the season here. And that's another thing. Tonight, 4 drivers are going to go on to next week to vie to be a champion here for the Sim500 Monday Night Money Winter Series and the trucks here. We go to Homestead next week. Got to get by this Michigan here. Look at Justin Fuller out front. He's one of those chase contenders there. And the asterisk beside the name, just to let everybody know out there, means that they are one of the actual chase drivers that are vying to try to get that spot next week. We're in the caution.
Yeah, looking for where the caution broke out. One truck I see damaged and slow on the apron on the backstretch is the number 9 of Bobby Wetzel. Didn't see what actually brought the caution out, but Wetzel's involved. Also, a couple other guys are involved. Oh,
looks like they got tagged back there. They were all 3 wide back there in the back. Bobby Wetzel just a product of him. Whoa, Rick McBride. Oh, in the 7 truck. Casey Duncan, nowhere to go. And just right into the side of the number 9 there. Unfortunate ending their night early here. But yeah, they were 3 wide back there and just made contact. This is one of them deals. It can happen so fast. You got a lot of speed at this track.
Yeah, and there's a lot of lanes, but still, if you run too high, you're giving up time. And so I think Bobby Wetzel didn't realize he was about to be 3 wide there. So the truck on the bottom started sliding up the track. E.J. O'Rourke and the number 6 of Jonathan Lockhart were kind of getting into it there. Just a little bit of contact. And as E.J. went up the track, Bobby Wetzel was already there. So just product of the racing, as you said.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Product of the racing, product of what this track will bring about it here. Yeah, that one hurt out there. Robert out there in the chat said, yeah, that one hurt. And I'd say so, definitely. Just unfortunate on his end. Wrong place, wrong time.
Yeah, and it seems like everybody's coming down pit road except for maybe a couple of trucks, but it looks like each and every truck in the field right now coming down except for someone might be taking a wave around or something. Jose Gonzalez and Tim Matthews are the only two who stayed out, actually, but that's got to be a lonely feeling.
Yes, it does. I mean, I agree with you. Lonely feeling to actually come out there and just, stay out. I mean, is it a good call to stay out? I mean, do you think that's a good call?
It's early enough that I would think it would be, but when like all but two stay out, then you start to really worry.
Yeah. Okay. Well, hey, these drivers know better than we do up here. I tell you what, and like, hey, I like what they're saying out there. I want to wish everybody, man, an early Merry Christmas, and yes, I say Merry Christmas. But if you want to say Happy Holidays, you can. That's fine. But I like Christmas, and I like this time of year, because I like the ho-ho man.
Well, it's always nice to get people feeling extra cheery and extra charitable, extra happy,
Absolutely.
And for the Jewish friends, Hanukkah starts tomorrow. So,
hey, there you go.
Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, everything else.
Hey, there you go. Well, yeah, I forgot about the Hanukkah. Yeah, that does come out. 12 days of Christmas or something like that?
Oh, yeah, 8 days of Hanukkah. And Hanukkah changes every year, so, I mean, even I forget when Hanukkah is all the time.
Hey, I'm with you, man, on that one. Well, it's a good one so far. We're at lap 6 here of 90 here tonight at the Michigan International Speedway. And, folks, I'm going to throw up right fast. There is your chase contenders, all of them right here. We got a good battle going to happen all night long here, Harrison, because it is tight. For 4 drivers to make it in, the points-wise is really, really, really it's close between those 4. Even the top 15 or 16 or top 10, excuse me, that are buying for this thing. You got Justin Fuller sitting up there on the top spot, but he's only 2 points ahead of Malik Ray. And 6 points ahead of the man sitting in third, and about 7 points. So it's not a lot. So Justin understands in order for him to get to that Homestead next week to go for a title, he's going to have to race his tail off, because you got to look, Malik Ray's there already sitting in, right behind him. Chad Coleman's there, Scott Simley. It's almost, as of right now, pretty much, you could about say the top 4 guys that finish here will almost go next week, but it's going to be a close one.
Yeah, this is one of those head scratchers. We're going to have to wait to see how the points shake out after the fact, because we'll do some quick math when this one is over, but when they're this close, it's really hard to say, because as it stands right now, top 10 on the racetrack, only 2 are not chase drivers, and those 2 are the 2 drivers who stayed out. The other guys are 3rd through 10th. A chase driver who's not within the top 10, of course, Pedro Mego. We saw him battling for the lead, had some connection problems, dropped back, so I don't think it'll be the last we hear of him. But it seems like that's the thing when you're in one of these chases. It's not like you can points race. You got to be perfect. When you have everyone in the top 10 here, you can't hold back. You got to race it like you're racing for the win, like any other week. So I like that factor of it.
Yep, absolutely, definitely. 100% on that one. You definitely got to race this thing like, it's no tomorrow, so to speak, as we're getting set to go back. Green flag racing here, Michigan International Speedway. And that man, Tim Matthews, will bring him to the line with Jose Gonzalez right beside him. So a couple guys up front who just want to win here tonight. And then you got a couple chase contenders like we were talking about. Justin Fuller, Malik Ray, Chad Coleman, Scott Simley, Chad Cole, Bobby Terrell. So the next about 6 or 5 guys behind them are all chase contenders. That's just how close it is going to come down to the line here to see who goes on the next week to try to race to become a champ.
Yeah, one thing these guys are worrying about right now is if the front row who did not come down pit road, if they really are lacking grip, well, all the chase drivers are going to be restarting this race directly behind them. So I'm not exactly sure how in this build the heat cycles have been treating drivers. For all I know, Tim Matthews made the exact right call and will jump out to this lead. But with 5-lap older tires, I feel like these guys are going to have to play a little bit careful here as they try to work around the slower trucks.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, pace cars coming out of turn 4. We'll let these guys go back to work up front. Tim Matthews out front there along with Jose Gonzalez. Pace cars in, and Tim Matthews, he gets a good jump on this one on the restart along with Justin Fuller. Jose didn't get the start he wanted, but they head off into turn 1. They're going to be all single file. Malik Ray's got his hands full with Chad Coleman back there.
Yeah, and Shaq Coleman in that 20 truck working the bottom had a disappointing result last week. Got involved in a wreck early on and just had to crawl around with damage all race. So Coleman up here in the top 5 trying to keep himself up there to try to get himself into the Final 4 at Homestead. Meanwhile, the 51 Justin Fuller looking underneath the 54 Tim Matthews for the lead there. Fuller trying to get back to the top spot.
All right. Yeah, well, Justin Fuller right there. He's on the inside. Right, just went to the top spot. I'm going to tell you what, these guys back here, though, behind them, the front 4 or 5, they're racing it off. And that's the thing about this track here at Michigan. You are able to use multiple grooves here. Go down to the apron. You're going to see a lot of guys use these grooves. But now, how the old build was, Harrison, was you see where that black line is, maybe one line up from the bottom line is where you'd want to be around here, because if you're too high, you'll get too tight, head right into the wall. If you're too low, you'll get loose coming out of the turn. So it's a fine line here. You still can use multiple grooves, but you still got to be careful. You're carrying so much speed around this track.
Yeah, they definitely congregate in the middle, as you said, because that low line pushed up the track kind of makes 3 grooves in the middle of the track being the ideal place to be. I've seen a couple of guys work the very, very bottom in turn 1 and 2, but it looks like they're only doing it if they're in traffic or trying to find something. You see all these drivers who have it pretty figured out up front. That bottom might as well be that black seam. But Fuller not really pulling away from Tim Matthews. So, you know, he didn't pit, but has me thinking about how these heat cycles are going to work, how this is going to play into tire strategy later, because Matthews, you know, still a lot of speed.
Yeah, I agree with you there. As you can see, the guys up there, man, searching around the best way to go. Chad Coleman, he's going to look on the inside of Tim Matthews for that second place spot right there. The guys get single file for just a little bit, but it doesn't stay that way for long as you got a battle going on for second here. That's what we're going to see all night long, as these guys, man, just tooth and nail side by side. As you see that number 54, he'll power coming off. That's another thing. Turn 2. Coming off of that thing, you got the momentum coming off of it, the high side. You see the run that Malik Ray's got right now.
Yeah, Malik been putting more of an effort into qualifying ever since this chase began. And Chad Coleman earlier this year won at Atlanta, kind of a similar racetrack here, kind of a similar racetrack we run next week. So something to keep in mind with that Georgia Bulldogs machine up there in second. But as you said, Malik Ray underneath the 54 of Matthews, now underneath the 20 of Coleman. That Skittles machine moving to the front a little bit earlier than we've grown accustomed to seeing throughout this season.
Well, he wants to put himself, man, in that spot to where he's one of the 4 drivers. As of right now, I would have to say that your top 3 guys. Now, Chad Coleman is probably the odd man out. And the reason I say that is he is sitting right now he's got 1,533 points. And to the 4th place man, which is Thomas George, who is sitting in 6th place right now, he's got 1,539. So if it ended now, I mean, so to speak, obviously we got a long way to go, only lap 13 and 90. But if it ended right now, your top 4 would be Justin Fuller, Malik Ray, and Thomas George. And I would have to say Bobby Terrell or Chad Cole, because those 2 are in a tight battle. Coleman is just right there, not far enough. It's basically what we saw with Michael Guest missing the chase by 1 point. It's that close, Harrison.
Yeah, that close. It just shows you that importance of being on your game for these 2 races. You really can't afford it's extremely hard to overcome a bad result trying to make the top 4 here, but with a long way to go, certainly anything can happen. As for right now, Fuller feeling pretty good about his chances, because he was able to be the top finishing chase driver last week, and right now he doesn't need to go out here and win this race, but right now he's the top running chase driver again. So a little bit more of a cushion for Justin Fuller. Meanwhile, Chad Coleman, he's in a position where, you know, he's close enough that he doesn't have to win the race, but he's in that place where he can definitely take some risks. And speaking of taking risks, Not too long ago, we saw Byron Daly look 3 wide and then back out of it. Byron Daly up here in third, not a chase driver. He's racing for the win. He's not racing for the championship.
Yeah, he could be the thorn in the side of some of these chase drivers up here if he takes the win away from Justin Fuller. Looking on the inside, or actually looking on the outside there, Malik Ray's all over the back end of them. These guys are just nose to tail, battling it out, coming out of the turn now of turn 2. As he looks to the high side, he might try. He's got a run coming off of 2. He's going to try to take that second spot away from Malik Ray coming down the backstretch.
Yeah, and I'm really interested to see how this works out in the long runs, because a track that notoriously either swings loose or tight, Michigan, it has that green flag feel to it. Don't mean to jinx it, knock on wood, but I really am curious to see how this works in the long run. Byron Daly, for now, a lot of speed, and he's a good long run driver too, and he's already straight up to the back bumper, that 51 and Justin Fuller. Fuller's really led just about every green flag lap we've had, except for one after this past restart, but the most pressure he's had in a while here, the 06 Byron Daly working the high side, looking high. Not going to get there this time, but he might get a nice run out of turn number 2, but actually got a little bit tight, a little bit loose with a lot of wheel there, lost some ground down the back straightaway. So Fuller, a little bit of room to breathe as the one of Malik Ray creeps up on Daly.
He does. The one's coming up in hard, charging right there, because he understands he's got to keep that 51 in his sights. Now, we say that because Justin Fuller and Malik Ray, right now, they're 1 and 2 in the points. If they stay right where they're at right now, they're in good space, or good, excuse me, in a good place to go into next week to be one of the final 4 to vie for a championship. You know, Chad Coleman right there in that number 20 machine, he's the one, man, that's really, he's got Chad Cole in his back bumper and Thomas George, who Thomas George is sitting 4th. Mike Kelly is the other one that I'm trying to find right now. Do you see him out there? I don't see Mike Kelly.
I was just thinking that very same thing. Mike Kelly maybe had some kind of issue where he couldn't make this race. I don't see Mike Kelly here.
I don't either, Harrison. So that one actually is going to be that's going to be in the favor of Thomas George, Bobby Terrell, Scott Simley, and Chad Coleman. And right now, Scott Simley, though, he's not having the race he wants. Back at 13th, he's got plenty of time to be able to get himself back up front. I just got to look at this thing, though. Byron Daly could be, like I said, the thorn in the side as he's looking on the inside there. The 51 of Justin Fuller thought about taking it, man, going down the back stretch, couldn't quite get it done as they still are nose to tail, single file coming into turn 3. Justin Fuller still leading the freight train of trucks out here tonight, and he's hoping he can bring this thing home in victory lane.
Yeah, look at that. The 06 of Byron Daly got right to the back bumper of Fuller. Got him real loose coming through the exit there at turn 4, and that's all Byron needed to get to the front. Justin thinks about the crossover, not sure if he's going to go underneath. He backs out before turn 1, so Byron Daly in control in the lead. That brings Malik Ray on the high side, trying to get to second place, but Fuller's going to put up that fight on the bottom.
Yes, he is. Look at Justin Fuller going to the inside, going down into turn, heading to turn 3, going to try it, but he got awful loose, like you said, when that pass was made by the 6. He was up high. And that's what I was talking about this track. You're either going to push going up high, or you're going to get loose down low. As look at Byron Daly, can't hold that truck, and here comes the charge of the 51, but Malik Ray has other plans. He wants that spot too, as he's on the outside coming across the line. Boy, it's an awesome battle up here, and this is what we're going to see back and forth all race long.
Yeah, Malik Ray would love to get a bonus point for leading a lap. Has not led a lap this afternoon yet. Fuller has. Fuller's led the most laps so far, but we're still very early in this one where that could change quite a bit. We saw the one of Malik Ray get really loose out of turn 2, a little bobble. Justin Fuller saw it, played a little bit safe, no contact there. Malik has his eyes set on the 06 of Daly. Daly not really getting away from these guys. It looks like he had the speed that he could just pull away, but for now, these guys are all together. Justin Fuller's real loose. Chad Coleman's really loose out of turn 4.
Yeah, they're thinking about taking a 3 wide. They can here. This track is that wide to be able to take it 3 wide coming down the front and back stretch. The problem is, can you hold it 3 wide? You don't want to do it in the turn too much because we're going to either get tighter. But look at them pull up onto the leader as Justin Fuller's on the inside. Malik Ray pulls up to the back tailgate of him. And Fuller, man's got to hang on to that thing because it's a wild ride coming out of turn 2, slipping and sliding. That's going to leave the high side open for that one machine. Malik Ray, one of those drivers back there behind Byron Daly, would love to take this thing home victory-wise, because they understand the bonus points. And look at them come out of the turn sideways.
Yeah, you know, when I was hearing a little bit about the new build, Chad Coleman was talking about how the K&N car here at Michigan would kind of loosen up the longer they went. So he was optimistic that we would see that trend continue here. That really has been a trend for a lot of this season. It just loosens up the more you go. And it seems like there's some yaw play going on right here. Chad Cole on the back of Chad Coleman. That 8 of Chad Cole, the diehard machine, going to look high on the Georgia machine. And as they come into turn number 3.
Well, I tell you what, Malik Ray, he lost a lot of spots right there, got a little loose, dropped back to 5th. Chad Cole went right up under him. Chad Coleman there. So, folks, just to give you an idea, excuse me, to give you an idea, second place man Justin Fuller leads the points coming in here by only 2 points over Malik Ray, and only 6 points over the man Mike Kelly. Now, we just mentioned Mike Kelly's not here tonight, so that's just devastating on the end of his, and we understand, you know, things come up. So we got to look to our 4th place man, Thomas George, who is sitting in 6th. Now, right now, Justin Fuller, he has about a 7-point lead over him, and it has to go back to Bobby Terrell, who sits in 7th, who is he's about, looks to be about 8 to 9 points back, and then Chad Cole, who's there in 3rd place, well, he's the other one. He's 10 points back from the top place man right now.
Yeah, and in that point situation, Fuller, even though he's the top running chase driver, as he's working underneath the 06 of Byron for the lead once again, we spoke to Fuller last week after his 2nd place finish, and you could hear in the tone of his voice, I mean, he's happy with the position he's in, but he's also going for wins. So there's those couple of things in his head right now where, you know, he knows he could just back off and ride behind Byron, but we're all, you know, they're all race car drivers here, and they're all wanting to win that race. And Fuller, you can hear in his voice that he knew he has come so close to so many wins this season, and he wants to grab another. And as he continues to work on the 06 of Byron Daly, it's clear he's not going to just ride here and be happy with his spot. He's going to be aggressive.
Absolutely. And I think the problem right now, though, when you look at it, I think that 4th spot is the spot that's going to be the one that's for the taking, the 3rd and 4th spot, actually. If Justin Fuller and Malik Ray stay up front, now we definitely don't want to give it to them as early as it is. It's only lap 26 of 90, but they are battling it out. Look how loose Fuller is coming out of turn 2. He almost stepped that thing sideways there. These guys are ill-handling machines right now, and they definitely have got their hands full with these trucks.
Yeah, and I've been noticing Byron Daly with a bit of a conservative line running higher on the racetrack, using less wheel, and he sees every time Justin Fuller gets underneath him, Byron's looking in his mirror, looking in his side mirror, hearing from his spotter that the 51 of Fuller is just getting looser and looser and looser, and that's kind of all part of the game plan. When you're in the lead, you're in that defensive position to make someone else use up their stuff, and I think that's a lot of what Byron Daly's doing right here.
Yeah, it is 2x2 coming out of the turn now. Battle for the lead, battle for 2nd spot. Justin Fuller and that man Byron Daly. They go side to side down the back stretch here, and behind them, Chad Cole and Chad Coleman. The Chad and Chad show right there. And that could be a battle for the 4th place spot there. They understand it's very close between those two. Malik Ray still in the charge and the hunt. Thomas George right behind them. And you got Bobby Terrell there also. It's just going to be, I don't even want to do the math on this here before it's over with, Harrison. I mean, the race that they're having up here, it's just unbelievable.
Yeah, and as Bobby Terrell creeps into this picture, as Fuller continues to work under Byron Daly, something we heard from Malik Ray last week is Bobby Terrell comes to play when stuff's on the line. So these drivers know any one of these 10 chase drivers can win this championship, and that's why they're up here aggressive, racing so hard for the lead here, still side by side for the lead.
Yeah, it is. Look at the 8, get the run coming in the turn. Had to check up just a little bit. Got too much of a run on the 51. And Tango out there says, I smell caution. Well, it could be a disaster waiting to happen, but we got a bunch of great professional guys out here that have been driving awesomely this whole entire season. And again, Harrison, it has been an awesome season here with the Sim500 Monday Night Money Winter Series. We've got one more race after this one, and we crown a champ. 4 drivers will go on after tonight from 10 to try to to go to try to become the first champ here in the Sim500 Monday Night Money Winter Series with the trucks. And we got a good battle for the lead up here as Byron Daly's trying to hang on for dear life. He just wants to win. Justin Fuller would love to get the win because then he knows, hey, that definitely punches his ticket into next week.
Yeah, we see Fuller get loose again out of turn 4, just getting looser and looser, and you have to wonder, each slide, just what exactly is that doing to his race truck, just continuing to heat up that right rear tire, and you wonder if there's going to come a point where it's just too loose to continue this battle. But nonetheless, Fuller hanging on to that race truck through each and every time he gets loose, and look at how yawed out he is coming out of turn 2, saves it. The 06 Daly gets that big run on the high side. He didn't get loose, and he was using that high side to keep the momentum up. But look at that, the number 8, Chad Cole, has joined this battle.
Absolutely. They're still going to go neck and neck coming out of turn 4. Well, Byron Daly's holding strong on that high side. Look at this, though. The 8 machine's going to take it 3 wide. Thought about it, but nope. He pulled out. That's Chad Cole. Chad Coleman looks on the inside. So a battle for second. You got Malik Ray. That's just a kind of excitement and action. And, folks, if you love been watching racing like this, tune in coming this February because we got some more here at OSRNetwork. Online simracingnetwork.com. Check it out. YouTube, Facebook Live, and Twitch because these guys are going to bring the Cup cars starting in February. Full Cup season here, Sim 500 style, and it's going to be awesome.
Yeah, it's my understanding following the real schedule every track, so that's going to be really enjoying to watch. Oh, look, the 51 of Fuller gets bad loose out of turn 4, goes around, he saves it. Hopefully he doesn't overcorrect back into traffic. He holds onto it without spinning out, but Fuller from the lead to about 8th or so. But the big thing there, he didn't hit the wall, he didn't spin it completely out, he did not catch a caution flag, but that truck is still running.
It is. Truck's still running. Boy, almost disaster for our top man coming in here in the points, Justin Fuller. That drops him to 7th spot right now, so he didn't lose, an astronomical amount of time because the field is so split up back there in the back. But I got a feeling we're at lap 32. These guys at some time are going to have to start coming into the pit road or start thinking about pit stops here. And the way they've been racing up front here, Harrison, they're using the tires. They're not saving much of anything right now because Byron Daly and Justin Fuller earlier on, they were just tooth and nails. You see behind Chad Coleman and Chad Cole, those two drivers understand that they're so close that 4th place spot in the points could mean just one position between them two.
Yeah, and it really could come down to pit strategy, as you said, because if drivers, caution on the racetrack, don't see where it is. I was going to say that it could come down to a 2-stopper or a 1-stopper. I believe the caution is Justin Fuller. Don't know if he was made contact with anybody, but
well, it did put me back on him.
Fuller got real sideways coming through turn number 2.
Oh, yeah, he hit the wall. Watching replay here now, Harrison. Yeah, he got up in the wall. Didn't get into it too hard, but he scraped it a little bit, hurt the right side of that truck. And he was battling that truck here the last couple laps. That thing was coming out from up underneath him, but then he spins it coming out of the turn. He didn't hit anything. Luckily, nobody hit him. Wow, what a save! What a save!
Yeah, lucky he didn't make a bad situation worse there, but. I didn't notice at the time that he got the wall out of turn 4 leading up to that, and yeah, that's not going to help here at a racetrack like Michigan with so much speed and aerodynamics being just extremely important, just paramount. And so this doesn't help Justin Fuller. He's got a little bit of a cushion, but not much, and so he's got as a driver, you got to rein in the emotions and kind of know, okay, this is what I got, this is what the truck's going to handle like on old tires, and what can I do to get back in this battle. Each and every truck is going to come down pit road from here.
Oh yeah, absolutely, definitely. 4 tires of fuel, they're screaming. Well, we're here live, Michigan International Speedway, here for the I'm gonna say the race here before we crown a champ next week at Homestead for the Sim500 Monday Night Money Winter Series. Just to give you an idea, there's the chase drivers. Plus, you can keep an eye on the drivers because they have asterisks beside their names. So all the asterisk drivers are the ones you're going to look at. Now, Justin Fuller is not out of the woodwork here. He might be leading the points coming in here, but we've just ran down. Just to give an idea, the top 10 Okay, the top 10, E.J. O'Rourke sits in 10th spot. He has 1,520 points. 1,546 is sitting where Justin Fuller is. So that's 26-point difference. So there's only a 26-point difference here. So Justin Fuller, he could actually get knocked out of that top 4. I mean, we were talking earlier that, hey, as long as he stays where he's at, he's good. But with disaster happening, I mean, he's going to have to get back up there. I'm going to have to say, I'm going to go ahead and say, be a long shot in the gambler here, Harrison. I'm going to say he is going to have to probably get in that top 6 spot to finish this race.
Yeah, that sounds about right, especially because, I mean, you continue to look at the top 10, and once again, right now 7 of the top 10 are Chase drivers. And that includes E.J. O'Rourke, you just mentioned. He's one of the drivers that I didn't catch that stayed out. So he was he stayed out earlier in this race on the lap 5 caution. He was one of 3 drivers. It ended up being 2 because EJ thought to himself, oh, I'm in a bad spot. I'm going to come down pit road. So EJ O'Rourke gave up a lot of track position, had to make it up. So he was back there in the 20s and has climbed his way back into the top 10. And that's one of those things. If you're going to race at Homestead, you got to get through those mistakes and come out the other side. And you know, it's early to say this for E.J. O'Rourke. Obviously, he's got to run a little bit better to be able to get into the Final Four at Homestead, but that helps him out.
It does. It helps him out. The thing about it is, though, is you've still got Thomas George, Chad Coleman, and Chad Cole, and Bobby Terrell, which are 3 of the drivers right there. And the reason I bring them up, because that's the 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, and, the 4th, 5th, 6th, and the 8th place drivers, respectively, all right there buying for, well, only 2 more spots. I mean, I say 2 spots, but again, you know, Justin Fuller sitting back in 19th place as of right now, that would knock him right out of the top 4. And Malik Ray, where he's sitting, guess what? That'd probably knock him out of it also, or he would be right there on the bubble. So, again, anything can happen. I just got a feeling if you're going to make that top 4 to head to Homestead next week, you're going to have to probably be, I'm going to say, top 5, maybe at least top 6 or 7.
Yeah, you don't have much leeway. And one thing I'm curious about with Fuller is just how much speed he has in that truck right now. Because when you get in the wall like that, like he did at a turn 4, sometimes it can really put a number on just how much straightaway potential you have in that truck. But sometimes you get away with it where it looks worse than it is. And so we haven't really seen what Fuller's truck is capable of right now post-damage, and that's really going to dictate where his race goes from here.
Yeah, and on a track like this, it is so important, aerodynamics and speed, because they're carrying so much speed. Now, Fuller's coming back in the pit. Why not? You're way back there in the back. Get a few more of that optional. Get them to bang those fenders out the best they possibly can. Doesn't look too bad. The back spoiler still looks pretty straight. That's an important part there going into the turns. But he was getting awful loose on the long run there. So, he's going to have to definitely change something about his driving, as the longer the runs go. The man right now out front, Byron Daly, he's looking to want to try to at least take this win home. And Chad Coleman and Thomas George, well, they understand they got an opportunity where they're sitting at to take a 3rd or 4th place spot here and maybe go home next week to try to buy for a championship.
Yeah, I actually just lost internet for a split second, so I missed a lot of what you said. But if it was about Chad Coleman like I thought it was, it's interesting with him up front in this one because Atlanta, he just had the most speed on long runs, and that was another track. It was really loose, and we saw issues from Pedro Mega, issues from a lot of trucks. I think Fuller might have been one of them. And so it's been a little bit inconsistent for those guys. Coleman is somebody who, like a Mark Martin, Matt Kenseth style driver, where he's smooth, he puts the work in, he's consistent. And this really looks like it might play into that 20 truck.
Yeah, absolutely agree with you. As the pace car's coming out of turn 4, folks, here. Ducks off on pit road. Here we go. Right on, we're heading back. Green flag racing in Michigan tonight. And look at Byron Daly. He puts the hammer down and takes off as they head off into turn one. Chad Coleman right there in that 20. He understands the importance. He's outside man looking in, 8th in points right now, but he's got his hands full with the 5 machine. Thomas George, who says not so fast. And look behind him, the man with the meatball sub machine. That's right. Jose Gonzalez, we call him Speedy Gonzalez, and he's got a bad, fast hot rod. So he's looking to say, well, fellas, I just want to win this race along with Byron. Y'all can battle for the points all day long. I'm just trying to come up here and check out Bobby Terrell. There is a Cinderella story that we just haven't really mentioned much about. Harrison got in this chase by 1 point. Michael Guest did everything he could do, but missed it by 1 point. And look where he's at, right there in 6th spot. And definitely he could take one of these 4 spots. And what would it be for him to get next week and try and be one of the 4 to go for the championship here at the Sim 500?
And he could do it, and all those drivers know that he's capable of winning the championship. And he's just that kind of smooth, consistent driver that, you know, sometimes he nails the combination and just shows a lot of speed. And so Terrell right now showing in the 6th position, currently 4th in points as they run now, if my math is correct. And so he's in this mix. And as far as Thomas J. George and Jose Gonzalez, 2 trucks we haven't seen too much of tonight. George has been running strong, running about 5th, 6th leading up into this caution. Jose Gonzalez, who stayed out on the first caution, was on old tires, showing these guys, you know what, I got more speed than you thought, because now I'm on the same tires you're on.
Yeah, absolutely. And you talk about Bobby Terrell, if he stays right where he's at, because you got to look, Justin Fuller way back in 17th spot right now. That's not where he wants to be at. And I just don't, I mean, if he can get the speed back in that truck, I mean, still got a lot of time to do it. We're at lap 40 here, 90. And look at these trucks, 3 wide, 2 wide up front. You got the 8 machine on the inside of Chad Cole right there with Jose Gonzalez on the outside. But look at Thomas George. He understands if he can get and stay where he's at. And Chad Coleman, the importance of staying in front of him. Folks, the reason we're saying this is because Thomas George is 4th in points. Mike Kelly's not here. As of right now, Thomas George is in the hunt to go to next week at Homestead as one of the 4 drivers. I mean, that's the importance right now. And he definitely knows, because Justin Fuller, where he's sitting at right now, being in 17th spot, well, there's only 26 points between the top 10. That definitely would kick him out of the top 4 as of right now.
Yeah, and they're thinking about the finish of this race, because we're only a couple of laps away from halfway, and we just had 1 green flag run lead up to this right here. So we're moving right along. The 5 of George was a little bit higher in the racetrack there in turn 1 and 2 than Coleman expected. Coleman had to adjust mid-corner there, but no harm, no foul, no contact. And Coleman with a nice exit out of turn number 2, trying to clear George. George, of course, did the crossover after Coleman went by, and that just shows these guys know what they're racing for. They're trying every single lap. But George on the bottom here, if he loses any more ground, number 8 of Chad Cole looking to get a nose above him. Cole working side by side with the 26 of Gonzalez.
Yes, he is. Chad Cole still trying to hang in there as he's going side by side, like you said, with Jose Gonzalez, who is in the mix. Byron Daly's loving every minute of what he's seeing in his back rear view mirror. Chad Coleman puts it in the 2nd spot right now. Like I say, he's the man right there on the outside looking in, as Bobby Terrell sitting really good. You got E.J. O'Rourke right there, Thomas George, Chad Coleman, a lot of chase contenders. Malik Ray moving up, and hey, look at that, in 8th place spot, Joey Katina being able to pull that machine up here also.
Yeah, started 15th, I believe, and up to 8th. So strong run going for that number 4 machine. Right now working on the back bumper of the 41 of E.J. O'Rourke. And so nice run going here. I have to think Joey's feeling pretty good, because a couple laps after this restart, looking at the lap times, he's got some speed in that thing.
Well, you know, the thing about Joey Katina, he's definitely feeling high, man, on a kite right now, because he won one of the first annual Snowball Derby, the Snowflake Derby for the All-Pro / Sim 500 Snowball Derby weekend. He won the actual Wheeling Modified race, brought that thing home in victory this past weekend. You can go back and relive that. And then didn't do too bad in the actual Snowflake 200 race right after it in the late models. So that was an awesome event that they was put on here by the All Pro / Sim500 Snowball Derby weekend. Definitely some good racing that was here, and you can check that out on OSRNetwork. You got definitely the race there. So Joey Katina, hey, he's I talked to him before the race. He's feeling pretty confident about this track here tonight.
You know, sometimes all it takes is some good mojo, and I think that's some home cooking too, because Joey's from that area, and I bet he really looks forward to the Snowball Derby every year, and a good weekend for him. I'm going to check it out myself because I wasn't able to over the weekend. I'd love to watch the replay, and that's what's really nice about having them all up on YouTube. You could go back and watch it all. Right now, though, Joey it's stuck in a 3 wide here. Malik Ray was looking in the middle of the 3 wide. EJ up high. Joey backs out. Malik shoots on by. I think EJ backed out of that one, too. So the 4 and the 41, O'Rourke and Katina stay side by side. Malik Ray goes by the 2 of them.
Yeah, and I was just looking back here in the back, too. Joe Hudson almost had that truck, man, go and hit the wall. And look behind them. Tim Matthews right there behind Joey and them. Wow, almost lost that truck as they went up into the wall very heavily. And that number 10 machine, that's Kevin Pearson right there, bringing that thing to life up here. And he started back in 13th, and he's got a donut machine. Hey, he's definitely got my favorite kind of food out there.
Yeah, Kevin Pearson making me hungry, and you know, that's another driver who's looking for some good mojo, because I feel like he's had some speed at various tracks this year. It seems like he just hasn't had the finishes that he's capable of, and certainly seen him around the Iracing service for a number of years, and a little bit surprised that he hasn't had the better point season, a better point season than he has. But right now into the top 10, and compared to where he started, it's not that many spots forward, but he's moving forward.
Yes, he is. He started in the 13th, currently up in the 9th place right there. Kevin Pearson is. He's right behind Joey Katina and company, who is right behind Malik Ray, Thomas George, Bobby Terrell, who, man, we're just going to start calling him the consistency man here at the Sim 500, because every time we turn around, wham, he's right there. And I want to give a shout-out, apology, if anybody's on the Facebook side, and I know we got about 15 watching, I can't see the comments that y'all are saying right now. For some reason, it won't connect. But, hey, leave a comment. I'll get with you after the race. Definitely give a shout-out here to the Sim 500 Monday Night Money Winter Series. And we're under caution here. Did you see what happened out there, Harris?
Yeah, on the topic of apologies, I got to apologize to Kevin Pearson, because I just spoke about how his results don't really, they don't really work that well with his performance. His performance has outranked his results, and Kevin Pearson lost it at a turn 4, overcorrected, and that truck is destroyed, or at least pretty hurt. A couple other people involved. Channel lock truck, believe that's Chris Cabot. Nick Timms, able to miss it, might have had a little bit of contact as he, actually, no, he didn't have any contact. He completely missed it. He went in the grass to miss it. So mostly, yeah, Kevin Pearson and the channel lock machine, Chris Cabot.
Let me, let's go back on the replay, let the viewers see. As I'm watching here on Kevin, he's coming out of turn 4. Yeah, he just starts to lose a little bit. And, yeah, he just lost that thing. And, man, that could have been worse than what it was. Oh, yeah, nowhere to go. Justin Fuller, well, he takes the low ride. He's in the grass there. That's something he don't want to see, is wrecking in front of him. Well, smashed up donut machine right there. Just like you said, lost it coming out of the turn. Nowhere to go. Chris Cabot right there. Hate to see that. It's just a product of wrong place, wrong time, and the window of opportunity just closed in on him.
Yeah, a little bit of a broadcaster jinx on my behalf. It's all too often they talk about somebody and something goes wrong. But I'm interested about pit strategy here, actually. I think everyone would stay out from this point on if it were to go green the whole way, which seems really possible. So every truck going down pit road, we're going to go green with about 38 laps to go. So probably no green flag pit stops from this point. There were a couple of trucks who have taken green flag pit stops, including Malik Ray, I think, was on pit road before the previous caution. That's why he was coming from the back. And so everyone down pit road, EJ O'Rourke misses his stall just a little bit. And the rest of these guys hoping to get a few spots on pit road and make life a little easier on the racetrack, because that's some hard racing going on out there.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And everybody on pit road, like you said, 4 tires and fuel. These guys definitely, and it's going to be a race off pit road here. And I think it's going to be won by Chad Coleman. who's going to get that top spot coming off in that 20 machine. Jose Gonzalez is going to be right behind him. Byron Daly right there, along with Thomas George, Bobby Terrell, Malik Ray, Tim Matthews, Rick McBride. Haven't really mentioned him. He's up there to 8. Johnson Lockhart, 9. And Chad Cole rounds out the top 10. Wow, and Tango out there said, yeah, you jinxed him, Harrison.
Yeah, I definitely take the credit for that. It's happened a few too many times this season.
We used to always say as the broadcasters jinx when we try to pick our favorite driver out here, because every time we do it, they'd end up wrecking or something would happen to them. So we tried to mess it around and go, hey, look, maybe we can pick a guy, man, that's actually going that we want to hit the wall this time.
Yeah, racing is a fickle sport. It's always changing, always keeping you humble. So
Yes.
that definitely comes into play with the picks.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Well, folks, man, we're here live. 41 laps to go here. YouTube, Facebook Live, Twitch. And we're bringing this thing. Also, Iracing Live. Don't want to forget about that. Want to appreciate everybody tuning in there on the Iracing Live side tonight. Definitely want to appreciate Iracing Live for putting this thing on for us and having us on there. But definitely we'll be back with them here on Monday nights for the Cup Series. Already got that locked in for us. So, Harrison, we're going to be on the main stage again there. Doing really well. A lot of people, man, out watching, because we're here at Michigan International Speedway for the Sim500 Monday Night Money Winter Series Truck Series here. And this is one race away from crowning a champ. Tonight, 4 drivers will go to have an opportunity to go to next week to become the first annual here Sim500 Monday Night Money Winter Series Truck Series here. And it's going to be exciting because it's a close one right now. It's a battle. Justin Fuller came in here, Harris, the man on point. He was leading the points along with Malik Ray. Well, Justin Fuller has found himself in a hole that he is trying to dig out of because the points between the top 10, 26 separate them. And Mike Kelly not being here tonight, well, that leaves a open slot, a open door, so to speak, for like Thomas George, Bobby Terrell, Chad Cole, Scott Simley, Chad Coleman and company up front to take that spot to go to next week at Homestead.
Yeah, and you know, that little bit of help, they certainly appreciate that. Still 9 chase drivers on the track right now, and you know, as much as this race has that feeling of you got to be near perfect, multiply that by 1,000 next week, because you have to be perfect in every way for that one. Any kind of mistake will be pretty hard to overcome to be able to win that championship. And one person who has to be feeling a little bit better about their chances, of course, is Chad Coleman. Winning the race off pit road there, he looks like he has the speed to be able to control this race. And so really curious to see how the 20 truck looks out front in this one.
Yep, absolutely right. As lights are off on the pace car, we're going to go back green flag racing here. And they'll do this thing again around with 39 to go. When they cross that line, it'll be 38 to go here. As a man out front, Chad Cole. Now, if he could win this thing, he could possibly get enough bonus points maybe to shoot him into that 4th place spot that he needs in points in order to get him a chance to go next week. But you got Jose Gonzalez and Byron Daly behind him going, hey, I understand you guys are racing to get for a championship, but I'm racing to win this race.
Yeah, and Byron Daly and Chad Coleman, kind of unofficial teammates. Kind of hard to call them teammates, but they're probably on the same team speak discussing the race with each other. That being said, though, Byron Daly's the type of teammate who's going to race you for the win, even though you're racing for a championship. So they're going to race it out up there.
Absolutely, and it's a good one so far. Pace car comes out of turn number 4, and here we go. We're about to go sail here. Jonathan Cadell. Cadell says, here comes the wreck. Well, let's hope not, because up front, pace car's in. These guys are about to hammer it down again and go back to business. Green flag is out. Chad Coleman out front. He gets a good jump on the start here, along with Byron Daly and Jose Gonzalez. They'll go side by side heading into turn 1 as a single file behind them for a moment, as you got Malik Ray right there, along with Thomas George. And you also got Bobby Terrell in the mix. A look at Byron Daly coming out of turn 2. He's going to try to take that top spot away, and he does for a moment as he's got a good momentum run heading into 3.
And look at the 26, Gonzalez shoots up the middle, so they're 3 wide for the lead here. Coleman's going to run way high, giving room to these guys. Byron way low. Gonzalez, nice run through 3 and 4. That's Jose Gonzalez, the meatball machine, up into the lead. The number 1 Skittles machine of Malik Ray there, coming up through the middle as well. So he's up to second. Coleman trying to work the high side, but a little bit of loss of track position there on that restart.
Boy, it looks like a plate race here already. Those guys were 3 wide going into the turn, 3 wide behind them. They're nose to tail up front. You still got Jose puts it to the point. Says he wants to win this one. Malik Ray right behind him. Chad Cole in the mix. And then you still got old Byron Daly right there. They're side by side. Trucks in the back there. They're wiggling all over the place. Now the number 14, look at that. Bobby Terrell's got his hands full with a 5 with Thomas George. Could be the battle here for the position needed because Chad Cole's in the mix. They're 3 wide coming to the line.
Yeah, George up high, Terrell in the middle, Cole on the bottom. It seems pretty obvious. There's a few drivers who are able to work the bottom really well, but that bottom, it looks extremely difficult to complete the pass. Cole, however, working the bottom in the die-hard truck, able to clear Bobby Terrell. Terrell sliding back. Tim Matthews now underneath the 14. And this is what Terrell does not need with only about 35 laps to go when they come around to the start-finish line. He doesn't want to be back here racing these guys extremely hard. But he's in a tight battle for position here.
Yes, he is. Malik Ray almost lost it.
Yeah, I didn't see what happened on the straightaway. He went way up the track, though, once we got to turn 3. I'm going to have to take a look at that. But Malik Ray losing track position right now. So whatever happened, I'll have to take a guess here in a second. That was very unusual.
Yeah. Well, I saw it there live a little bit, and he went low, went high. Don't know what happened to the truck. Just got a little loose there on him. But you're right. Hey, it drops him all the way back to 9th place spot. Bobby Terrell's back there in the 8th. And he got Justin Fuller. He's trying to climb back out of it. So speed's definitely still in at 51. He's got enough time. He's up to 7th already. Thomas George, Byron Daly in the mix. And they're actually right there with Tim Matthews. They're side by side. Look at this thing here. I mean, Harrison, in our top 10 right now, we got Chad Coleman, Chad Cole, Thomas George, Justin Fuller, Bobby Terrell, Malik Ray, Scott Simley. All are chase contenders in the top 10 right now.
And that is a great comeback so far for Justin Fuller, because I was looking at his lap times when he was in the middle of the pack. I thought he was struggling for speed, but I think he was just playing it easy and saving some and just trying not to get too aggressive in the middle of the pack when he was at a really vulnerable spot there in traffic. So Fuller, a lot more speed than I expected him to have, but the damage on that right side wasn't too bad. Just thought it would have a little bit more of an effect. Looking pretty good right now. I'm sure he's feeling some effect. He's probably not as fast as he was earlier, but he's fast enough to get up here and race these guys, and that's what he wants right now.
Yeah, 100% agree with you right there. He's fast enough to keep himself in that top 4. If he could just, like I said, I got a feeling it's going to have to be maybe the top 7, probably top 5, the way it's filling out right now. As you see, Bobby Terrell, he's right there all over his back deck lid, and he's closing in on the 5 machine there of Thomas George also. Malik Ray right behind him. So that's 4 of the chase contenders nose to tail running here at Michigan with 33 to go. And you and I know, Harrison, boy, when we get down to about 20 to go, business starts to pick up. Run what you brung, but look out front. Oh, we call him Speedy Gonzalez. Jose Gonzalez, though, has pulled out to a 1.4 second lead, and he is walking away from Chad Coleman, who's got his hands full with the Chad Cole behind him.
Yeah, it makes me think of a couple of things. One being that if they go green this the whole way, it is a 38-lap run, which is very close to what they did earlier in this race, and they know how much it's going to get looser and fall off, and I think a lot of these drivers are going easy on that right rear tire. With that being said, Jose Gonzalez, I believe it was with the Xfinity car in the Monday Night Money series in the previous season, won Pocono by getting out front, running fast, and holding off the charges. And so this could work out for either side of the argument right now. But Jose with a nice 1 second lead, 1.5 second lead on Chad Coleman.
Yeah, 100% there. Agree with you. And Jonathan out there, Cadell, says, how long before Jose's right rear goes away? Well, he is definitely running about the same time that Chad Coleman is right now. Their lap times are actually almost identical. Both of them ran a 41.288 the last lap. So he's at a point now at 1.4 seconds he could actually, ease on that truck a little bit, maybe give up just a touch and not, push it as hard, because that's what happens when you get out front like that. Well, you're able to, you can give up a couple tenths here and there and still maintain that lead. As the last time by, yeah, Chad Coleman and Jose, their lap times are within a couple hundredths of each other.
Yeah, and when you have that gap between first and second when you're Coleman, there comes a point where you start wondering, okay, maybe I saved my stuff a little bit more. How come I'm not catching him now? Maybe I wasn't saving as much as I thought, or maybe he's not going to fall off as much as I thought. 28 laps to go when they come to the line here. Gonzalez in control. It's always nice to have that buffer of time between you and the second pack, because they're going to get to racing here before long.
Absolutely. Well, let's do something everybody enjoys here, because it's the OSRNetwork rundown order here. Get this thing set up for you here so we can show you these awesome paints, awesome trucks out here tonight. And that man right there started sixth, currently out front. We call him Speedy Gonzalez, but he's Jose Gonzalez. And a man, if you're in the Puerto Rico area, you want a good sub sandwich? Well, he's got a good sub truck. Right now out front trying to put this thing in victory lane. Behind him, Chad Coleman's just hoping he has got enough to put himself in one of those 4 spots to vie for a championship next week. He's currently sitting in second right now. Behind him, Chad Cole. That's another chase contender here in third place, hoping he's got enough to get one of the 4 spots. Tim Matthews, he just wanting to come out of here with a win and maybe an awesome finish. Right now, currently running in 4th. You got Byron Daly sitting in 5th place. Another one there who's got a truck capable enough to win this one tonight. 6th place man, Thomas George. Well, he's 4th in points right now and hoping he's doing everything he possibly can do to get one of those 4 spots here tonight to go next week to maybe run for a championship. Sitting in 6th, 7th place man, Justin Fuller. He came in here as the points leader. He's had a rough night already, hitting the wall earlier on and having to avoid a lot of wrecks. He's sitting in 7th right now, though. Behind him, Cinderella story man himself, Bobby Terrell. Well, he is just hoping right now 5th in points. He can do everything he can as he goes around Justin Fuller. It's another spot there that helps him out. He's hoping he can get one of those 4 spots to go for a championship. He got into this chase by 1 point. Right now he's battling for 7th and 8th. 9th place man Malik Ray, he's the other one there. Come in 2nd points tonight, currently sitting in the 9th place spot. 10th place man Scott Simley, he's right there on the outside looking in, but he's another chase contender, and he's currently running in 10th. 11th place man there, Paul Nicholas Cooper in the 18 machine, currently running 11th. 12th place, you got Don Roberts moving it up, coming from 21st up to 12th. 13th place man E.J. O'Rourke, come in 10th in points. Got a little damage on the front nose, but he's currently running 14th spot. 13th, Pedro Mega. He put that thing on pole tonight. He's battling it out with old EJ right there for the 13th and 14th spot. 15th place man, Johnston Lockhart right there. Good Harley Davidson machine. He's gotten a 6, currently in 15th. 16th place, Ed Burrell. That's a nice looking number 17. Currently he started 20th. Currently 16th right now, 17th. Joey Catino, we were talking about him. He said he's got a bad, fast hot rod out here and definitely wants to prove it. Currently 17th. 18th place, Nick Thamus at 83. He came a little bit up right now, but he's currently sitting in 18th. 19th, we got Kevin Pearson was talking about it. He's got the Hertz Donut machine and looking good in that number 10 machine right now. Right behind him, Joe Hudson. Didn't really talk much. Started 9th, falling off the pace just a little bit. He's trying to maintain, currently in the 20th spot. 21st, there's old Brian Wortman. I'll tell you what, he's one of the popular guys. Got a fan club out here, and everybody's loving him in that 89 machine. He come from 27. He's up to 21st. 22nd place, Rick McBride. He's out of this one. And we got Chris Gaboo. He is out of it also. That channel lock machine, he's on pit road. James Pescarella, he's out of the race. Jason Swan on pit road. Bobby Wetzel is another one that's out. Casey Duncan and Steve Gottschalk as the ones that are out of the race right now, as it takes us back up front to this man, Jose Gonzalez, who has a 1.2 second lead over the field here at Michigan and is hoping he could just claim the victory here tonight as we head off into next week for our season finale at Homestead. Some good looking trucks out there, Harrison, right now.
Oh yeah, I really love the creativity with a lot of these paint jobs. And speaking of creativity, though, Jose has a really creative one up there in the lead. And as we go longer in this race, well, caution just came out, so that just changed a lot of things. But Chad Cole was showing a lot of speed there. Caution's out for the 12 truck of Joe Hudson is severely damaged on the front straightaway. He was a lap down, got loose out of turn 4, so we'll get that for you in a second. But, well, that changes the complexion of this race a little bit. Now
yes,
we can race a little bit harder.
Yeah, absolutely right. Definitely does. Also, come down and get 4 tires and fuels. We're watching this replay here. What you were showing here on Joe Hudson, he was right there in front of the number. I can't really tell because it's awful dark. The truck is a red truck, 87 machine, and he's right in front of him. He's coming out of turn 2 with that discount machine there. And we did see E.J. O'Rourke back there too. He bumped the wall, so he's not having the night he wanted here to try to go on to become one of the top 4 to vie for a championship. We're still watching this replay. Probably went back just a little bit. Excuse me there. Went back a little bit on it. He's coming out of turn 4. Complete this one, and like you said, this is going to change the complexion all along on this race because it was looking like a good long green flag run. Now we're under caution here, and what this probably does is it mixes it up front. I mean, I would say they would come into the pits. I would think they would to get 4 tires and fuel. The problem being is now it's anybody's ball game. As I must have went back way too far on this thing because we're still watching the 12 run around here just to show you what happened. But, I mean, what do you think now is the game plan for the man up front?
I'd say 4 tires, and maybe some of these guys are playing a little bit of fuel strategy, trying to just not as far as cutting it close on fuel, but as far as how much is in the tank to either tighten you up or loosen you up, because it's one of the few things you could do to help the handling of a fixed setup. But I think everyone is going to take 4 here. I'll be surprised if someone risks 2 or stays out. But, you know, with a 38-lap run on their minds, you know, it really changed how they were driving, approaching the right rear tire. With this, they can afford to push significantly harder, and so it's kind of curious to see exactly how hard some of these guys will push up there for the lead.
Yeah, no doubt about it. As I almost been way back on that replay. I still haven't seen where he's wrecked at. But either way, we're still talking about run of caution here, folks. I'm watching this replay here on Joe Hudson. And we were on a long green flag run. And what's making this so important is the fact that being on that long green flag run like we were on, it's going to bring out I mean, Jose had a awesome lead up front. Well, that's all going to come to a close. But now you're going to have all these chase drivers up there and definitely going to be racing very hard amongst each other.
Yeah, and I'm curious to see how Chad Cole does from the lead, because he was running some great lap times as we went longer and longer on those tires. Now he doesn't have to wait as long to really go for it. And he will be in the lead here once the lap truck in front of him hits pit road this time by. But we're going to go green with about 18 laps to go. And so it really allows all these guys to push harder. And, you know, we've seen a lot of 3-4 wide racing at this track, a lot of lanes to work with. A couple lanes you want to stick with, but a lot of lanes to work with. And, well, they got a lot on the line. Two race round here next week. It's for everything.
Yes, it is. And the two trucks here that we're really going to be interested to look at are a couple of them, actually. You know, you got Chad Cole up there right now going to be leading this one, and I believe he took a chance, man. He took a pit stop, but he's taking a chance. He got out of pit road and got up there. Jose Gonzalez is right there in second. Byron Daly sitting in third. But Chad Cole is 6 in points. And as of right now, he is, well, coming into this thing on the 4th place. Between him and 4th place, folks, there's only 3 points separating them. And that, if it ended now, as of right now, I think he would leapfrog and get that 4th place spot, because Chad Coleman, Bobby Terrell, or Yep, Bobby Terrell or Thomas George won. Actually, Thomas George, excuse me, would actually leapfrog into the thirds. I mean, it's just the math here, Harrison, is mind-boggling because it's that close. I mean, we're talking about from fourth place to actually sixth place, which are the three drivers right now, Chad Cole, Chad Coleman, and Bobby Terrell and Thomas George. You're only talking about maybe 5 to 7 points separating those guys.
You know, it's so close that I feel so afraid of even trying to do the math myself after we cross the checkered flag. We're going to get the official standings update within a couple of minutes of the checkered flag waving. And so it's one of those things with all these trucks on top of each other. It's so easy to get wrong, and I'd really like to not get it wrong. So it's painful to wait. It's going to be one of those things, you know. It's like waiting for the lottery numbers to drop.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Well, we're here live either way, Michigan International Speedway, and it has been a very, very exciting and thrilling race. When we go back green, when they cross the line, we'll be 18 to go. As I always say, business is about to pick up and run what you brung right here, because these guys up front, you got a couple drivers, they just want to win, and you got several drivers up here that are just hoping to climb and claw their way into one of those 4 spots to try to become the champ here at the Sim500 Monday Night Money Winter Series. Lights off on the pace car. We're about to set to go back green flag racing.
Yeah, Chad Cole trying to get himself into Homestead to run for this championship after a fast run here. On the inside of the front row, Jose Gonzalez has been running a bunch of races under generator power. Not sure if he has full power back yet, but of course Wiley reported what's going on there in Puerto Rico, and you know, that could lift your spirits a little bit, just getting back into what you know, what you enjoy doing for years and years. And a lot of stories here going on, a lot of guys who want to win this race, and Chad Cole's going to lead them down.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Pace car's out of turn 4. Takes that hard left turn off on pit road. And that man up front, Chad Cole's going to lead the parade to the green flag. And he does, and it flies. And he takes off in the 8 machine. Look at Malik Ray. He's going to waste no time to take it 3 wide into turn 1. He does with Bobby Terrell back there in the mix. But up front, you still got Jose Gonzalez, Byron Daly. They're going to mix it up as you got Justin Fuller. He's back up there. He understands the importance of getting back up in the mix of this thing. He's right there in the 6th place spot. Chad Coleman along with Tim Matthews, as these guys are going to get racy and racy in an awful hurry.
Yeah, and Fuller's put himself in a pretty good... Chad Coleman catches the wall entering turn number 3. That's a mistake you just can't make. With as much speed as he had, he was able to save it from spinning, but Coleman catching the wall there just took himself possibly out of Homestead contention here. That's a brutal hit for that 20 truck.
Yes, it was. Saw him, went up into the wall, slammed it hard, and I'm with you, Harrison. I believe that pretty much just put a nail in the coffin for his chances to go to Homestead to try to race for the championship. I mean, especially with only 17 laps to go here, still anything can happen, but hard lick for Chad Coleman right there, because he was already way down at 8th spot, and he was doing everything he had to do to try to race it. But look at Chad Cole. He understands the importance if he can win this thing. But he's got a fast, speedy Gonzalez, a Jose right there, battling and duking it out with Byron Daly, along with Tim Matthews. You got 3 trucks behind him that just want to win this race bad.
Yeah, it's kind of surprising at this point in the race that 2nd through 4th right now, not chase drivers, but Byron Daly able to clear the 26 of Gonzalez, coming out of turn number 2. Jumps up in front of him. 26 Gonzalez looks for the crossover. It's not there. A lot of blocking going on from Byron. That's a little risky. Able to hold on to it. That opens the door for Tim Matthews, the 54 truck, working underneath of Gonzalez now. That gives a little breathing room for that 06 Daly to work on the 8 of Chad Cole.
Well, they are mixing it up here left and right, side by side, as the man up front, Chad Cole's got a handle on it, but Byron Daly is coming in a hurry, very fast. They head off into the turn, nose to tail. Behind him, though, Jose Gonzalez is locked in a death match here with Tim Matthews storming out of the turn. They will go 2 by 2 down the bad stretch here at a high speed of rate here at Michigan International Speedway. Behind them, a couple chase contenders, Malik Ray, Thomas George, Justin Fuller, Bobby Terrell, Man, it is a who's who. And right there, Paul Nicholas Cooper, and he will go duking it out with a 68 of Scott Simley. They coming out of 4, and we're going to have 14 to go when they cross the line this time by. I got a feeling those chase contenders see the battle up there. They're kind of happy where they are because they've kind of settled down and going, well, them guys want to win and win bad. The problem is Chad Cole, where he's at here, again, I just got to reiterate it. Chad Cole, he's only 3 points out from the 4th place man. He's leading this thing along with the bonus points. He could punch his ticket into Homestead.
Yeah, if looking at the map right now, he would be in right now, but not by very much, of course. And that the 06 machine pulling right up on the back of the 8, just making him loose, making him drive is harder maybe than he wants to right now. He'd rather have a little bit of breathing room for himself and be able to pace himself. But Byron Daly running really aggressively, trying to just find any which way to get to the lead. Cole trying to find every which way to hold on to it. And before the end of this one, these trucks are still going to get looser and harder on that right rear tire.
Absolutely. Chad Cole is trying to fight for everything he's got for his life up front as they come into turn 3. Byron Daly, he is right there clawing and scratching in that 06 machine to come out of turn 4, and will be 12 laps to go here at Michigan International Speedway. They'll come across the line. They'll be nose to tail this time by as the 8 machine of Chad Cole leads them that time with 12 to go heading into 1. The 06 of Byron Daly still there, hoping he makes a mistake. But look at Jose Gonzalez. He was able to get around Tim Matthews, and behind him, Malik Ray's trying to maybe get up there and get one more position. He came in 2nd points. He understands that Justin Fuller is hanging on by a string back there in 7th spot.
Yeah, and it's a nice recovery for Malik Ray. We saw him go way high on the track in turn 3 not that long ago. Had to make up track position. He's gained at least 6 or 7 spots since then. And so that's exactly what he needed to do. Meanwhile, Byron Daly working on the inside of Chad Cole, able to get the nose underneath there on the front straightaway out of turn 4. As they enter turn 1 here, can Daly make the bottom work? Cole's going to work the high side, trying to hold on for that lead. But look at that center speed from the 06. He's going to try to slide up in front of Cole. Coming out of turn 2, able to be clear of Cole, gets to the lead.
Yes, he does. That's a slide job coming out of turn 2 down the bad stretch. He takes it to the point here. In the lead, Byron Daly. So that puts Chad Cole right in 2nd spot. Jose Gonzalez thinking about trying to pull up on the 8 machine. I think Chad Cole is just going to use up everything he's got here with 11 to go. Now across the line will be 10 more laps here. Look at Malik Ray pulling up. We're about to have 5-car truck battle up front here at Michigan. It is still anybody's race up front as that 8 machine's not giving up on the back end there of Byron Daly, and neither is Jose Gonzalez. They understand there's chase contenders coming out of 2. He's looking on the inside down the back stretch.
Yeah, Cole wants to get clear of Daly quickly because he knows every second that you're side by side brings the trucks behind you closer and closer. Daly's going to run him tight here in turns 3 and 4. Works that momentum on the high side. Daly sliding up quite a bit out of turn number 4, but has the momentum. But can Cole keep the nose there on the front straightaway? Looks like he's just barely there right now. Doesn't quite have the lane. Daly able to clear him on the front stretch. Now Jose Gonzalez tries the high side above Chad Cole.
Yes, he does. Going into turn 1, look at a mess of trucks. Jose Gonzalez powerhouses that machine to the outside. Malik Ray on the inside of Tim Matthews out of turn 2. These guys definitely know the importance. Jose's in a wall a little bit. He clipped it. That's going to leave the door open for Malik Ray to come around Chad Cole. It's a battle for the lead heading into turn 3. Malik Ray's on the inside of Chad Cole, though, as Jose Gonzalez is trying to battle it out with Byron Daly up front. Who's going to take this thing home tonight at Michigan as they come across the line? It will be 8 to go. Jose is all over the back end of Byron Daly, trying to figure out blocking moves, which way, every way. Those guys, man, are fighting in tooth and nail up front, and Malik Ray almost cut the nose off of Chad Cole.
Yeah, a lot of tight racing here. Malik really ran Cole up the track there. Meanwhile, Byron Daly making his truck wide as it possibly can be. Gonzalez looking for his first win of the season. Wouldn't be his first in Sim 500, but it would be his first in this season. And the 26 truck sliding up a little bit off that bottom here, coming out of turn number 4. You see Daly just sliding those rear tires on exit, both about even down the front straightaway. But look at this Skittles machine. Malik Ray coming closer and closer to that lead spot, and he's got the speed to join this battle.
Yes, he does, and thought about taking it 3 wide in turn 1, backed out of it. He understands he's in the catbird seat as far as it comes to Homestead right now. Jose Gonzalez masterfully pulls that machine to the front, but he comes out of 2 sliding. He's around. They touch her together. They're sliding down the bad stretch. If it brings a caution out, it won't end it. But, boy, he came back up on the track right there. No caution because they got going. But Jose Gonzalez and Byron Daly, and as I say that, the 41's in the wall. E.J. O'Rourke is all tore up. Caution is out.
Yeah, when they caught Jose Gonzalez on the backstretch, that's where the caution was brought out. You know, this doesn't end the race. We're going to have a 1 or 2 lap shootout to decide it. So I'm a little bit at a loss for words on that one. The accident really started with Byron Daly and Jose making contact, and that was a situation that Daly came up for the side draft. Gonzalez not as close to the wall as Daly was expecting, and you know, you hate to see it end like that, but we're going to have a restart.
Oh, and E.J. O'Rourke clipped Jose. That's what happened on his end. Oh, and then he got nailed. Oh, Brian Wortman, nowhere to go. Just destroyed it. And Pedro Mega involved. Several trucks just out of this race. E.J. O'Rourke just, unfortunately, Pedro Mega is going to end their nights as far as trying to go to Homestead. And that man, Jose Gonzalez, well, he's smoking. But it was an awesome run up front between those guys. I mean, they were just doing everything they possibly could do to try to win this race here. And you're right. And look at that. Malik Ray says, I'm not going into the pits. There's only going to be about, like you said, maybe 2 or 3 laps for the end of this one. So, folks, appreciate it. Hang on to it, though. Now go get your refreshments and all, because this is not over with here at Michigan International Speedway. We're live for the Sim 500 Monday Night Money Winter Series Truck Series here. And the importance of right now Malik Ray, he's loving where he's sitting, because at this point, he's definitely punched his ticket to Homestead. Where we're having to look at right now is probably going to be that 3rd and 4th place spot. Thomas George and Chad Cole and Bobby Terrell are the ones, and right now it's actually looking Chad Cole and Thomas George are the 2 that are looking very good, because Chad Cole, he was only 1 point behind Bobby Terrell. Well, right now he's several positions ahead of him. So, again, not unofficial. It's unofficial, folks, so we don't know. But if it would probably end right now, if I'm good at guessing and good at math, I'm going to say it'd be Malik Ray, Chad Cole, Thomas George, and Justin Fuller would be your top 4 just by looking at the math. But again, that could change in a heartbeat. We just saw it a minute ago how things can change so quickly here at Michigan.
Yeah, this final restart's going to be a stressful one for these drivers, because the top 5 stayed out, and so they're going to have 12 laps on their tires versus everyone who just came down pit road. So Malik Ray with 4 drivers behind him, Malik's feeling pretty good right now. I think he's got enough of a buffer, but they're going to have a speed disadvantage compared to everyone who just came down pit road. And so who I'm more worrying about is the 8 of Chad Cole, the 5 Thomas George, and Justin Fuller is the last truck to stay out. I believe Chad Coleman might have taken 2 tires on pit road. I'm going to check that right as we speak. Actually, no, he might have taken 4. It was hard to see. There was no animation, so I'm not sure how many tires Chad Coleman took. But there's fresh tires 6th on back. And so this is a stressful situation for these couple of guys that are really vulnerable here on old tires.
Well, just to give you an idea, Chad Coleman only had a 10-second pit stop. Looking at just that's a 2-tire stop. Everybody else 14, 15 seconds. So I'm gonna go ahead and take a gander that he just did 2 tires on that pit stop.
Yeah, and we saw Chad catch the wall entering turn 3, and you'd have to imagine Chad didn't add any fuel whatsoever to his truck, wants to keep it pretty snug. But it's stressful for him too, because he caused himself, and now he's hoping for a caution before they get too far, hoping that he has enough track position to be able to do something, maybe get by some of these guys who didn't take any tires whatsoever.
Absolutely.
But expect the unexpected. That's all I'm thinking right now.
I'm with you, Harrison. I mean, I'm in awe right now. And the guy right here that we've talked about, Bobby Terrell, who is sitting right there in the 8th place spot, he is so close. He was so close hanging on to get into the chase. And we went back and we noted on that earlier on in the race. Michael Guest there, 1 point difference. Bobby Terrell sitting in 8th. He only would need to maybe get, I'm going to say, 3 more positions up there. And that would actually take Chad Cole out of the mix because there's a 1 point difference between him coming into the race now. Between him and Chad Cole, Bobby Terrell has the 1 point up. And the reason I say that is because Mike Kelly, being out of this race, is automatically probably going to move Thomas George up if he sees where he's at. And then the battle's going to be for that 4th place spot as it sits right now, which would be Bobby Terrell and Chad Cole. So, Bobby needs to say, well, I know I'm consistent, but it's go time.
Yeah, it's one of those things where if we kept the live standings for the entire green-white checker here, which it is going to be a 2-lap shootout for this one, yeah, it'd be changing probably 12 times a lap, maybe more. But but looking at this rate, one thing to keep in mind, we don't have green-white checkers in iRacing. If they get the white flag, it ends under green. They will not throw a caution for any reason. And so a lot of these guys hoping that we get as much green as possible. Some of these other guys hoping for a quick caution. Top 5 old tires. Really anxious to see how this works out for everybody.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Definitely getting nervous up here in the booth. I know how the drivers must be feeling. Pace cars coming out of turn 4 here. And this will be for the final time here because if a caution comes out before the last lap, that'll end it. Pace car ducks off on pit road. Malik Ray's going to lead them to the charge. As he does, green flag in the air. 2 to go here at Michigan. Good start by everybody in the 8 machine there. Like you said, though, those 5 drivers looked like they almost spun the tires. Justin Fuller's on the back end. They're 3 wide in the back, 3 wide up front, heading into turn 1, coming out of turn 2. If you don't think they don't want to take it, look at Justin Fuller, though.
Fuller really loose in front of George. A little bit of contact there. Bobby Terrell trying to take advantage of all that room at the top. 4 wide down the backstretch. George, Cole, Terrell, Coleman. Terrell looking to get to the inside of Fuller. Going to have to go to the outside. There's just no room to the left. Coleman just fighting for his life out here. Malik Ray fighting for the lead. But look at Terrell. Huge run on the outside. Those fresh tires coming for the lead right now.
Yes, he is out of turn number 4. They are 3 and 4 wide. Bobby Terrell, the Cinderella story here, made it into the chase by 1 point, is going to the lead, folks. He is battling Malik Ray. He's got fresh tires, and he's got 1 more lap to get it done in. That man in the 54 is taking it to the front. The 14 machine of Bobby Terrell. You've got to be kidding me. We called him Mr. Consistency, but look at Byron Daly as they storm to the back stretch here. Harrison coming in a turn 3. They'll be for the final time here at Michigan. That man might have just punched his ticket into Homestead out of turn 4.
Is it enough? We'll have to find out shortly. Jonathan Lockhart gave him a try, but Bobby Terrell takes the win at Michigan. Probably gets himself in at Homestead. We're going to have to do the math real quick. But Bobby Terrell, surprise winner in this one. Gutsy call at the end. It paid off for that 14 truck.
Absolutely. Them guys, man, put it all on the line here at the end. And I'm going to just go out and say, as a betting man, Bobby Terrell, that was enough to put him in. Boy, he raced his way into the chase, folks. 1 point. He held on to it. Michael Guest did everything he could do to get in there, but 1 point separated. And that man in the 14 machine started 10th. He came in 10th in the points, but drove that machine to the front here to win here tonight at Michigan International Speedway. And I'm going to just probably go ahead and say he has definitely probably taken that spot because, Thomas George and them sitting behind him, he should get the bonus points. Again, he was only about 2 points out of Thomas George. Remember, Mike Kelly not being here tonight. That was an awesome, awesome race right there.
Yeah, that'll be enough for Terrell. And something I didn't quite catch, I saw Jonathan Lockhart shoot up there and try to get that win away from Terrell. Scott Simley got third with his fresh tires at the end. Chad Coleman held on for sixth or seventh, but Chad Cole and Thomas George fell all the way back to 13th and 14th, so it was exactly what they didn't want to see happen. Fuller held on for ninth, and so the point situation, this is an anxious moment as we're all hitting F5 on our keyboards, refreshing that standings page, trying to see who's going to end up where at Homestead. Top four. Simley's going to be close. Terrell should be there. Malik Ray should be there. That's what we know for now.
Yeah, well, that man right there, Bobby Terrell, pulling it off here. And Jonathan Lockhart, look at that, finishing second. Definitely a very, very good run on his end to come out in second spot. Well, didn't even see that with a mess of trucks up there. And like you said, Scott Simley pulling out, rounding out the top three here. As I'm looking through here, and actually I'll bring up Scott Simley right fast. I don't see Jonathan Lockhart. You see him around here, Harrison?
Not yet. I'll definitely keep my eye out on him, but anxiously waiting for these standings to update. Very curious to see if Scott Simley, especially since we're about to talk to Scott, I'm very curious to see if this was enough, because he came into this race 7th in points, so he's right there. Simley
right there.
might have been 4th in points here heading into Homestead.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be close because Thomas George not in the top 10 here. Definitely going to be one. It's going to be close for that 4th place spot, folks, there. I'm going to go ahead and say, I'm going to probably say Bobby Terrell definitely moved up in to being one of the 4 there. And but he pulled off the win here. Thomas George ended up in 14th spot back in the back. Chad Cole, and just dropped back down. Standings are up. All right, well, Harrison, what do you got for us?
Well, Malik Ray goes in as the number 1 seed into Homestead. We knew that much. Justin Fuller held on by finishing 9th. He's the 2 seed into Homestead. Bobby Terrell winning this race is number 3. Number 4, Scott Simley.
Wow. Awesome, awesome. Well, I tell you what, I don't see Jonathan Lockhart in here yet, but we're going to bring up the man in 3rd place tonight, let you get a talk with him, Harrison, Scott Simley. And I always call him Scott Smiley, and I know he's got to be smiling now.
I guess.
Scott Simley, I have some good news to report. The standings are updated by finishing 3rd tonight. You are in the top 4 for Homestead, so you will be racing for a championship.
That's sweet.
How did that gutsy call at the end? How did you feel as you made that call and to try to get up that truck position at the end?
I knew that was the call. It had to go green. I mean, that was the only chance because we restarted 8th, so I mean it was the call. I should have went high, should have followed Bobby, but I was afraid of the wreck and it just piling up. So I thought I'm gonna be safer low because I got the grip to stay low. And I got what I got.
And it was by 4 points. So by 4 points in at Homestead. And how do you like Homestead? How are you feeling about next week?
I usually do pretty well there, but the competition's tough here. So, anything can happen.
Absolutely. And going in on this one, we know it's a new build. A little different feeling for these trucks this week, I would imagine. How did it feel compared to previous weeks? How did the truck handle tonight?
Unbelievably different. I mean, the truck rotates in right away, and you get 16 laps on it for me, and it just starts getting loose. Unless you back out and you lose even more spots, which I gave up so many to begin with that I don't know. It's tough. It's going to be one to adjust to. I know that.
Certainly made it happen tonight. I'm almost I'm at a loss for words, but it was a phenomenal race to watch. Very exciting. Great to see you make the Final 4 at Homestead, and congrats on the podium tonight. And who makes it happen for you? Who would you like to thank?
Teammates Bobby, congrats on that win. That was awesome. You guys for broadcasting, of course. Just a good race tonight. It was a lot of fun. On the edge racing. Hippie's paint shop. Yeah, that's about it.
Well, we appreciate you joining us. Thanks again.
Thank you.
Well, man, that right there, Scott Simley. I always call him Scott Smiling. He's definitely smiling up a cool breeze tonight because he made it as one of the final 4 going to Homestead next week here, Harrison. And just a real quick before we bring up our race winner here and I head down to Victory Lane to talk to him. Like you said, Malik Ray, he's going in. Fuller, Terrell, Scott Simley, but Chad Coleman, -4 points in 4th place. He came from 8th up to 4th to try to do everything he could. Thomas George was -6 there, and then Cole was there in the 7th to make out around the final spot. So awesome run. But hey, I'm gonna head off down here in the Victory Lane because this is what you call a Cinderella story here. Bobby Terrell pulling the victory off here tonight at Michigan. Bobby Terrell, Joe White in the booth. You got a copy?
Hey, Joe. Yeah, man.
Oh, Bobby, I tell you what, we talked about you here at the beginning of the last week, making this thing here in the chase by 1 point. The Cinderella story here. You came in 10th in points here going into Richmond last week. You came in here tonight 5th in points. You've been dead on consistent, but an awesome pit strategy call put tires on that machine for you out there, and the Muscle Milk number 14 brought that thing home to a victory and punched your ticket to next week to try to be a champ at Homestead for the Sim500 Monday Night Money Winter Series. How does it feel to bring the victory home here at Michigan?
Oh, it feels awesome, man. I mean, a hard-fought win for sure, but I made, pit crew made the right call there at the end, and just rode her wide, high, and handsome.
Yes, you did, and brought that thing with all the muscle in the world and just pulled it off, bringing it to the front. It was an awesome, awesome win. We said, we were talking about it through the race, you needed to just be consistent. You came in here, you were 2 points off of Thomas George coming in on being in 4th place in the points. Was that going through your mind this whole entire race?
A little bit. I mean, I knew I needed to beat George. I felt like I was a little better on the long run, but we didn't get that. And then I got damaged on the front of my truck a little bit, which didn't help matters any. But I was just riding and hoping that it would go really, really long, and so I could work my way to the front and see what I had. But like I said, that didn't play out. We had we had some cautions, so we were doing short runs there, which doesn't really play into me that great because I kind of lay back a little bit, but made the right call there at the end, and that's all that matters.
Yeah, absolutely, definitely. You're right. That's all that does matter. Made the absolute right call, brought that machine to the front and brought it home and punched your ticket to Homestead to hopefully become a champion. If you do this next week, well, guess what? We'll be calling you the champ here at the Sim500. You got anybody out there you want to thank for this awesome victory?
Yeah, of course, my teammates. Mike Kelly and Scott for all the help pitting and stuff like that, and then OSRN, you guys up there in the booth for making the calls and everything. I know I've got my work cut out for me next week. Homestead's a good track for me. I know racing all these young boys, I'm the oldest guy in there, I think, but we'll see how it plays out.
Well, so far so good. It's all played out. It's got you to the Final Four there at Homestead. Good luck next week. Be an awesome race.
Thank you, sir.
All right, we're right there, Bobby Terrell. And we just ran off. We got a hold of Jonathan Lockhart. So, Harrison, we'll let you get a talk in with him, a second place man tonight.
Definitely Jonathan Lockhart coming into a new build, new field. These trucks, it seems like they've given some guys surprises, and I tell you, that's adapting. Coming out your best finish of the season by a pretty significant margin, it has to feel good to get a good run in.
Oh, definitely. Yes, thanks.
How did the truck feel this week compared to most weeks of the season? Because it certainly We spoke with Simley, or Smile, or excuse me, Simley. I'm sorry, I'm thinking about Joe's nickname, but Scott Simley noted that the truck was way different this week. Was that did that provide a whole new set of challenges?
Oh, certainly it did. Yes, it was way loose. You could definitely tell you didn't want to put the truck on the bottom because it was very, very loose right there. It was almost a push loose. The more you want to push it coming out, the more she just wants to slide right around.
And the pit strategy at the end, were you confident when you came down pit road, or was it one of those things where you really weren't sure how it was going to go?
Yeah, I had no idea it was going to go the way it did. I thought I was maybe making a mistake there. We didn't run very many laps, but it's just like the bottom didn't go anywhere, and the top just kept going.
And looking at next week, another opportunity to get that first win of the season. Homestead, a little similar, some similarities to Michigan, but how do you feel about Homestead?
Oh, it's a great track. I love it. Yeah, it lends to my driving style.
That's certainly good to hear, and a nice note to end the season on, running on a track that you appreciate. But it was great to see a podium finish, a strong second place for that number 6 truck. Huge run at the end, came up just shy of that win. Thought it was going to be close, but a great finish, great result. Congratulations on that. And is there anyone you'd like to thank?
Oh, definitely Sim500, Joey Gattina, putting on a great field of drivers. You guys for putting on a great broadcast. I watch you guys all the time. I have to give a shout out to some friends out there like Goon. I know he watches almost all the races. Yeah, my wife, for putting up with me, letting me do this. And yeah, I want to thank everybody else too. It's been great.
That was certainly a great story. Great to see you run up there and finishing second tonight. So thank you for joining us. Congrats again.
Thank you, guys. Have a good one.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Well, I'll tell you what, Johnson Lockhart there bringing it home in second spot tonight here. Definitely doing all he can. Well, Harrison, I tell you, if these drivers aren't worn out after that one, I don't know what it's going to take. And that was an awesome run. And again, wow, could we have thought of it? Bobby Terrell powerhousing that thing to the front. Well, you got any final words on this race?
Oh, just appreciating the unexpected, because you knew things would change at the end, and they changed even more than I expected. I mean, just kind of a shocking turn of events. And Bobby Terrell, it was kind of like you were hinting at him all night long, and a popular win, certainly a popular win for that driver.
Well, we've hinted at him all chase long. He made it in by 1 point. And when he got in here, we said it before this chase started a week or so ago. We said he could be the Cinderella story if he got here. Well, he's got a shot with 4 other drivers: Malik Ray, Justin Fuller, Bobby Terrell, and Scott Simley. All 4 of those drivers next week at Homestead have a shot to be the Sim500 Monday Night Money Winter Series. And the trucks here as we conclude this Winter Series next week at Homestead, and it's going to be a thriller as we'll crown a champ then. But tonight, Bobby Terrell, he's the winner here at Michigan. Well, everyone, I want to appreciate you coming out, and I thank you a lot. And until then, we'll see you then, and have a good night.